Imagine your morning Zoom call at work, sponsored by Budweiser. Yeah, you know how like when you get to that 40-minute point on a Zoom call, the meeting just ends, and then you all rush to get the new link to continue the Zoom call because, let's face it, who wants to pay $14.99 a month for that? Well, pretty soon you're going to have a brand new option, Zoom with ads. That's right. You're going to see ads maybe at the end of your video call, in the middle, or probably at the bottom of the screen all the time. I mean, it was inevitable, really. I mean, adify everything. They have to pay the bill somehow. Which reminds me, what do you call Mondays without any Zoom meetings? Meatless Mondays. Yes, and that's why it's called Tech Refresh. It's your weekly fun show about all things digital. I'm Kim Komando, and joining us this week, there's Allie Seligman, our amazing content queen. Hello there, Allie.
Hello.
And Ben Bradley's on board with us. Oh, he's back in his office. Hello there, Ben.
Hey, Kim.
And then there's Matthew. He is our internet scout. What's going on, Matt?
Hi, Kim. How are you?
We're doing great because this is Tech Refresh. And just a quick reminder that we want you to rate, review, subscribe, and follow the podcast. And hey, it's brought to you by thecurrentnewsletter.com. It's tech news and tips you can use right now. No ads. It's absolutely free. You can see a sample and you can sign up right now at thecurrentnewsletter.com. You have to have the THE in the beginning of that URL. It's thecurrentnewsletter.com. Just try it. You're going to love it. Do it now while you're thinking about it. And let's get started with the news. And Allie, you're up first.
I have an old trick that is back with a new twist on it. Scammers are taking out search ads for popular cryptocurrency wallets. Now, let's pause here if you're thinking, I don't have anything to do with crypto because I don't want to get scammed. This will impact you too because it's not just going to be limited to crypto. Now, here's how it works. Someone takes out an ad on a popular search term, in this case, cryptocurrency wallets. A wallet is basically just where you store your digital money. So you click the ad to go to the website, and it's a clone of the real website, of course. And so you enter in your password, all your information, and it clears out all your money.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's awful.
It really is. With just a few clicks, everything's gone, and people store a ton of money in these things. So analysts at Checkpoint Research, they found more than $500,000 in cryptocurrency stolen in just a few days. So these ads are really working. In this case, they were for the Phantom wallet, which is the one I use, MetaMask, another popular wallet, and PancakeSwap, which is a trading platform. So like I said, the phony sites, they were copies of the real ones. So you end up there, you think everything's legit, and then, yeah, you're screwed. Checkpoint found 11 compromised wallet accounts, each containing between about $1,000 and $10,000. Then they cross-referenced with people over on Reddit saying, hey, what happened? All my money's gone. And they found $500,000 stolen. Now, if you're new to crypto, first, my recommendation is get Kim's ebook. It's called Cryptocurrency 101. You can get it on Amazon, and it'll get you up on all the basics so you know what you're doing. After that, once you get into this world and you try the different apps, you try the different wallets, you want to see what's out there, how do you know what is real and what's not when you do a search online? Well, number one, never click the ad. If you're searching for something new, if you're trying to find the URL for a website, go to the organic results. Those are going to be underneath the ads. The ads are labeled as ads. Just don't click those in general because they might be dangerous. My favorite trick is to go to Twitter. I find the Twitter account for whatever company I'm looking for. I make sure it's real, check the follower count. They usually have tens of thousands. Look at the comments, look at the interaction, and then the link is right there in the profile. That to me is a little safer than just doing a random Google search for it.
Now, you know what, Allie? That's smart. That is a great idea.
Yeah, it's been really helpful, especially because most of these crypto sites, they don't end in .com. They end in .io or .app or .market or .whatever, and so it's hard to know if you're actually going to the right place. Now, I said before, this isn't just limited to crypto, and it's not, because this is not a new scam, but it is one. Checkpoint says, and I think rightly so, that this is going to get even more popular because it really, really works. And it's more effective than a phishing email, right? We all know to watch out for those, but we might not be watching out so much when we do a Google search. So be careful what you search for. Don't click the ads. And if you know the URL, just go to it directly.
You know what, Allie, that's great advice, especially now because it's the holiday season and all the scammers going to be out in full force. But, you're really into crypto. I mean, did you hear about the new cryptocurrency called Decibel? Have you heard about that?
No.
It's a sound investment. Oh, I'm sorry. That was awful. All right, Ben, what's going on in your news world?
This one, even with everything that Meta is going through, it caught me by surprise when they, just out of the blue announced they're going to be shutting down their entire facial recognition system. I mean, it's a pretty big deal that their facial rec algorithms have been used for a few years. They tag people in photos and videos, so you might see suggestions to tag specific people when you're uploading. Soon you won't. There were also those automatic notifications when you appear in something that someone else has posted. Those will be gone too. And there was a template for everyone who opted in. They have face prints on more than 1 billion people, which is, I think, 1/3 of active users.
You know what? That is huge. And for them to shut that down, it's like, why are they doing this, Ben?
Yeah, well, I love this part. Facebook says the decision was made because of, quote, growing societal concerns. You think?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, sure.
Seriously, growing concerns?
We are concerned.
How long have these concerns been going on? How many lawsuits over the past few years? But here's the kicker, though. A spokesperson for Meta told Recode that the company hasn't exactly ruled out using facial recognition or other biometrics for their big metaverse plans. Yeah.
It's Facebook. I mean, they speak out of both sides of their mouth constantly, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, they believe this kind of tech has the potential to enable positive use cases in the future. So, I mean, to me, it kind of sounds more like a pivot. And, I mean, you have to wonder if court hearings for future lawsuits will be conducted inside the metaverse.
Oh, gosh.
Put a suit on your little avatar.
You know what?
Yeah.
Right there. That's right. We're going to court. We have to look good. All right, Ben, that was really great. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. So it took decades for air carriers to figure out what most electronic engineers already knew. Current cell phone technology has absolutely no dangerous effects on an airplane's electronics. But yet, whenever we get on a plane, what do they say? Everybody needs to put their phone into airplane mode. Okay. Nobody does it. Or if they do, it's like, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, as soon as the flight attendant just moves, we're going to go ahead and put our phone back in. And so the airlines have kind of stopped telling passengers this. But things are changing. With the rollout of 5G phones, the FAA is about to issue both an airworthiness directive and a special airworthiness information bulletin. Okay, let me just say, those are really, really big things. And they're warning pilots about very real safety issues of 5G interference with all these onboard aircraft instruments. So neither 3G nor 4G phones share any of the frequencies used by the airplane's radar or other systems, but 5G will. And so these are actually serious concerns. So eventually, the airlines, what they have to do is install special filters to keep these stray 5G signals out of their system. But that's going to take years. So if you are on a plane and the flight attendant says, please turn your phone into airplane mode, and you are on 5G, it actually would be a darn good thing for you to do. Which reminds me, what do you call an airline full of bald people? An airliner full of bald people. Anybody?
I got nothing.
Receding airlines. Receding airlines. Okay. All right. I saw this over at Reddit, and I want you guys to listen to the story, because I'm going to ask you, what do you think that this guy should do? Because he's got over 6,000 comments in just a day. He claims that when he and his wife, they were just boyfriend and girlfriend, he was looking after his girlfriend's cat while she went away for a week to spend time with her family. As he said, it was an all-black cat that was extremely aggressive. It scratched everyone. It hissed at everyone. It didn't even use its litter box. Okay, so this is a bad cat. Now, his girlfriend said, just give me time. I will make the cat behave, and I will make the cat do better. Okay. So she went out of town for the week, and he was supposed to go to her apartment and feed it. But instead, he went to the local animal shelter. He found an identical cat who was already litter box trained, loved people, a lot friendlier, better behaved than the original cat. So he adopted the cat. He took it to his girlfriend, now wife's apartment, settled in. And then he drove the original cat to an animal shelter 2 towns over, just in case the wife would go looking for the cat. So it's been 6 years. They got married 4 years ago. They still have the swapped out cat. The cat answers to the original cat's name.
What?
Okay, his wife knows absolutely nothing. So, should he tell his now wife that when they were dating, he swapped out the cat for a better cat?
Absolutely not.
I think no, too. I think he wants to absolve his own guilt. She wouldn't get anything out of knowing the cat was swapped. She would just hate his guts or be really sad for her old cat. I think he's got to live with it. That's his punishment.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. What do you think, Ben?
That's a long time to live with it. I mean, I've been married almost 20 years, and I'm thinking like, if I had, cat or dog or anything like that, I mean, you almost want to get ahead of that, because if it ever does come out somehow, cats learn to talk or something, you're in trouble. And you should have just said something earlier.
Or do the cat DNA test, right? Okay. Is it the same cat? Now, I mean, so it's really interesting that people are going back and forth, because there's also a string on Reddit that's tied to this one where the guy actually killed the girlfriend's cat on accident and replaced the cat with another one. It's just like all these weird stories are coming out. But whatever you do, you never want to date African cats. You know why? Because a lot of them are cheetahs, and the ones who say they aren't are lying. Oh, I'm sorry. That was really bad.
Kim, I don't know if you found that story
something?
on the Reddit. It's called Am I the A-hole? But not a-hole, it's spelled out.
Oh,
that's a really great Reddit forum for just seeing people's little problems about like, wait, this person's really mad at me, but I think I was right. It's a really interesting, like, little slice of life society thing.
I'll have to check that out some night when I'm drinking and nothing else to read at that point. Hey, listen, you want to stay right where you are, because coming up, we have some great tech tips, some insider secrets and tips that will make you sound smarter on those Zoom calls and at dinner parties. So stay right where you are.
Are you struggling to lose weight and keep it off? Tired of wasting time and money on starvation diets that lead to more frustration and stress? If there was a weight loss solution that could actually work for you, would you try it? Then head to Golo.com.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo.
I'm Amber. I've lost 128 pounds with Golo Taking Release.
If you're ready to take back control of your life, head to Golo.com now and see how Golo can work for you. That's GOLO.com.
My sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. Golo saved my life. I was way overweight. That's what sent me down the path. I wanted to make sure and live for my kid.
I have literally tried everything. I was on the verge of getting gastric bypass surgery, and I saw the Golo commercial, and it was the last thing I tried because it worked.
Join over 2 million people who have found a better way to lose weight with Golo. Your healthier and happier life begins at Golo.com. That's GOLO.com. Again, GOLO.com.
Hey, welcome back to Tech Refresh. It's your weekly fun podcast about all things digital. It's time now where we talk about some really great tech tips. Like, for example, have you ever answered the phone? Okay, right? Think about this, guys. Have you ever answered the phone and you look there and you go, I really shouldn't have answered it, but I did anyway. I'm not talking about robocalls. It's that family member or friend, and they just are like railing on and on and on about something, and they're complaining, they're carrying on, and you just can't figure out how to end the call graciously. I mean, it certainly happened to me. So, but rather than giving the person like some lame excuse like, oh, I've got to go be on the air right now. And then they say, well, Kim, you do your show on Fridays and it's only Tuesday. Okay. You just keep talking as normal. And here's the trick. You flip up on your screen or down as the case may be, and simply put your phone in airplane mode. That's it. You just put your phone in airplane mode, and then the person at the other end of the phone will see call failed rather than call ended. And then best of all, they're bound to think, hey, she just must have lost the connection. That's it. Call failed. So that's a tip that you can use, love, know, and remember. And what about you, Ben? Give us a great tip.
Okay. So I've been going through tips lately, like my own cautionary tales. And this couple things I've been doing recently, this will really save headaches later. Cord management. So 2 scenarios personally experienced for the past 3 months. One, I was reviewing a sound bar, and I had to mix and match a few HDMI cables from my existing Yamaha receiver, then put them all back when I was done with the review. Guess who had to trace some of those wires back to their source in the dark, cramped place behind the entertainment center? This guy.
It was you.
So Yeah,
If it wasn't
And
you, then
then-
it would have been a weird story.
that would have been, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, a few days ago, I'm transitioning from my PC laptop to a MacBook, and I had to rework a bunch of what was plugged into my docking station, like the USB stuff, the keyboard, mouse, webcam, and all that. Well, once again, I had to figure out which cable went to what, when all I had to do in the first place was just label them. And it's crazy how inexpensive those kinds of labels are. Not just the basic, like, mailing white labels. I'm talking like multicolored cord labels that you can write on. You know, they're great for the home theater stuff, like your streaming devices, your gaming consoles, your speaker wires, and they're great for the home office setups when you have a lot of stuff plugged in, like me. You can get plastic zip ties with printable labels, or just simple labels for next to nothing. Those multicolored ones I was talking about, you can get 200 of them on Amazon for like $6. You just have to take the time.
Wow. I mean, think about all the fun you could have like over a weekend with
Oh,
those.
just
do
label
that.
making all weekend.
Woohoo.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
That's right. You're right, Matt. We be all having parties and the sit-tays with our labels all the time. All right, Allie, what do you got?
Well, I got a dog a few months ago, and everybody knows the best part of having a dog is all the cute pictures you get to take of your dog. But you have to know how to do it right, because I think the problem is people just kind of stand over their pet, they take a picture, and then they just have all these kind of really high shots of their tiny little dog or cat or whatever. And I think we can all do a little better. Now, first, go outside, better light. You can actually see all your dog's features, or your cat, but I don't know, would you take your cat outside? Anyway, tire them out a little bit. If you have a young dog or a puppy like I do who gets a little rowdy, if you tire them out first, or maybe you try to take a picture when they're sleepy or when they just woke up, you might have a better time of it so they're not trying to attack you and, eat your phone. My favorite thing to do with my dog is actually get down on her level or even shoot from beneath. So she has this chair in my office that she made into, her little throne. And I'll go sit on the floor and take a picture kind of looking up at her, and it makes the cutest picture, so much better than I'm just standing over her taking a picture. Or if you are going to stand over them, hold your phone parallel to the floor so it's this really purposeful above shot that looks really cool and not just, I took out my phone real quick and tried to snap a pic of my dog.
Okay, but Allie, that only works if you have a certain size dog. Okay, Abby is humongous. And I have to tell you, when I got Abby, I thought she was going to be I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought a golden retriever would be 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
No. No, 90 pounds. This dog is 90 pounds. So if I were to do that, I'd probably get just half of her head. I'm just saying.
That's true, but I bet those down low shots would be really cute of Abby. If you're kind of have the phone positioned under her and kind of get her a little bit up, that'll make a really cute one. And then this is one Ben and I were just talking about. Portrait mode is a little hit or miss for animals, and usually it doesn't work great because it blurs the background. And so for us humans, it's totally fine. But for dogs, it might blur things like their ears or, their paws or whatever. So it doesn't always work. Yeah. And then, of course, action shots are so good, but make sure you're using burst mode. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with one picture where your dog's tongue is half out and their eyes are crossed. So it's really easy. You don't need to do any special settings. In your camera, where you push to take the picture, just hold it down and it'll take pictures the entire time your finger is held down. So, even in just a few seconds, you'll get dozens of pictures and you'll end up with at least one winner, probably.
And so, Allie, your dog's name is Nova. Is that her name?
It is. Yeah.
And it's not Nova for no go, right?
No, I was going for a space theme. I was really into space. Still am. And yeah, I just, she's got a little space collar. She's got a little UFO name tag.
Oh,
that's so cute.
Yeah.
See, now you need to send Nova to obedience school so that this way she can get her master's. Oh, sorry about that. All right, we're going to switch gears now. It's time for You Choose the Fake News, because we have fake news, false information, stories made up to create a bit of buzz and good headlines that are everywhere. And as we scroll through these endless stories on our feeds wherever you are, you really need to keep an eye out and think about which of these headlines are fake and which ones are actually fact. Okay, so that's why we play this game every week here on Tech Refresh. You choose the fake news. Now, this week, it's Matt's turn to kind of play Stump the Host and all the listeners. And Matt, you have 2 real headlines and 1 fake one. And
I
let's
do.
start with number one.
Okay, so we're going to start with the headline of Squid Game Halloween costume sends van sales skyrocketing. So, Squid Game has been all the rage over the last few months. It shot onto Netflix and became one of the most popular shows ever. And with Halloween, it allowed people to dress up as those characters. Now, all the characters in that show wore white vans. And because of them dressing up as these characters, the sales of white vans jumped 7,000% just before Halloween.
Gosh. Because everybody wanted to have those costumes. Now, how does it rank in order again? Did you see Squid Games? Have you watched it?
I have. I've watched the whole thing.
Okay, so what is it? It's circle, triangle, square?
I believe that's right. Circle, triangle, square.
That's where the power... Now, Allie, you have not watched Squid Games.
I sure have not. No.
And Ben, have you tried it?
No. I've watched enough little clips to know it's not exactly my thing.
Ben has a weak stomach too. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
You know what? It's one of these things. It's like you watch it, and then you're like, okay, I'll watch the next episode, and that's it. And then I'll watch the next episode. I watched the whole thing. I did. I admit it, and I thought it was actually okay, aside from everybody
really
dying.
Oh, wait. Well, yeah.
That was bad. All right, so number two.
All right, number two, we have perfect right angles discovered by Mars rover on the red planet. So, scientists have long thought that right angles are a huge rarity within the geological world due to, moving tectonic plates and the way that rocks are formed. So right angles are incredibly rare on Earth. And so when we sent the Mars rover to the red planet, it was one of those things that they set into it as a tiny little mission to be on the lookout for right angles to see if they could find one. Well, recently, the Mars rover was moving through a canyon on the red planet and ended up finding a perfect right angle within a rock formation.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is. All right.
That leaves a little bit of thought there.
Okay, number three.
So for this one, we're going to have to put on our tech hats and try to put on our thinking caps here and try to think this one through. So, a 1-ton tungsten cube was just bought by a crypto cabal for $250,000. So
okay, I'm straight. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tungsten is what?
So tungsten is a form of metal that is 1.7 times denser than lead.
Oh, okay. And then a crypto cabal is?
A crypto cabal is a group of crypto investors that buy strange things online.
Okay, now we're all on the same page. Thank you, Matthew.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
So we got this big tungsten, what did you say, 2,000 pounds?
1 ton, yeah, 2,000 pound tungsten cube that was created by one of these companies that make these small tungsten cubes, and they made the biggest one ever, and it was just sold for $250,000 to a group of crypto investors.
Well, and to put this into perspective, a Harley Davidson weighs about 900 pounds, right? So this is a big chunk of tungsten. Okay.
Yes.
So
enormous.
now to review, number one, we have Squid Game Halloween costumes, the white vans that nobody was buying because they were ugly, but now the sales are going through the squid roof. Number two is the Mars finding the right angle, which is really fascinating. And number three is this 2,000 pound 1 ton of tungsten that was sold to a bunch of crypto guys and gals for $250,000. So,
Yes.
which of these headlines is fake? Which one is fake, Allie?
I am actually going to stay out of this one because I know the answer. Me and Matt worked on this. So I'm going to let you and Ben have a little showdown.
Oh, that's not fair. Okay, Ben, what do you think?
All right. Well, I just have to do a little process of elimination because two of the three things I really don't know much about. Tungsten and crypto cabals and, we were talking about vans for Squid Games. I thought we were talking about like panel vans or something first because, so because I'm just going to say, because I know nothing about those, that those are real and that I do follow a little bit of NASA news. And, well, I hadn't heard about the right angle stuff. Not to say that didn't happen. I'm going to go with that one being the fake.
And I'm going to go with you as well. I'm going to go with number 2, no right angles on Mars, just a bunch of Martians. So, which one is the right one?
Well, dang it. I didn't stump you guys this week. Oh, that one's the fake.
Bum, 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 bum. Those are our high-tech sound effects because that's all we can afford. You know why? Because you people are not signing up for the current newsletter. Just head over to thecurrentnewsletter.com. Sign up. You're going to love it. And just a quick reminder to rate, review, and follow. You know, somebody actually put, I don't know if you saw this in the reviews, somebody actually put like the emoji for a plug in the subject and said, look, I'm plugging you. I thought that was really kind of cute. All right, stay right where you are. We're going to tell you what's hot, what's going on the internet that you need to know about, so stay right where you are. Hey, welcome back to Tech Refresh. It's your weekly fun podcast about all things digital. And of course, Matt is our dedicated internet scout, and he's here to always tell us about what's going on the internet. So when you're talking to your family members and friends and those people in your family that are under the age of 25, is that you can say, yes, I am fully aware of that. So Matt, what's going on?
Hey, all right. So I'm going to start with something that's near and dear to my own heart. And we're going to start with talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, the game that started in the 70s is just a small tabletop game. During COVID, it blew up. This is mostly due to the fact that this game doesn't require any pieces. It doesn't require any boards or any other aspects. All you need is your imagination and people with you. So this was able to be done virtually, which during the lockdowns allowed people to continue to play these games together. So the company that owns Dungeons and Dragons, which is called Wizards of the Coast, actually had one of their most profitable years of all time in 2020 due to people buying books or expansions or that kind of stuff. And not only has D&D and Dungeons and Dragons kind of taken off during COVID, but there's a show that's on Twitch. And what Twitch is basically a way for gamers to stream themselves playing video games. But there is a group that plays Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch. And there was a leak a few months ago that showed that this Twitch stream, which is called Critical Role, was one of the most profitable Twitch streams of all time. And within the last 2 years, they made $9 million just from Twitch itself.
See, that is just amazing to me that you can make money sitting there playing video games and people will pay to watch you and like donate and give extra things so that this way they can actually get closer to you somehow via Twitch. $9 million? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and this channel's awesome too. They're professional voice actors, so it's actually like really high quality production. I think we can all think about like, you know, a crappy YouTube video of some guy at his computer playing games, and it's just like, well, but this one is actually really, really nice.
It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. All right, what do you have for number 2?
So number 2, we're going to talk about the Earth. So every year, tens of billions of pounds of trash are dumped into the oceans. And this has created, you know, fish swallowing pieces of plastic and all this kind of stuff. Well, YouTube decided that they would all get together. So some huge YouTube creators, some social media stars are all getting together to start an initiative, and they're calling it Team C. Now, their goal, and they just started this a couple weeks ago, their goal was to make $30 million by the end of the year to get 30 million pounds of trash out of the ocean. They'll be doing this by using, it's fantastic. They'll be doing this by using large robotic trash collectors at the mouths of rivers and in the ocean that basically use large buoys that lead trash into the mouth of this big collector that then goes up conveyor belts and is compacted into large trash bins, which is then shipped off and disposed of in a safer way. So they're trying to do this by the end of the year, and it's teamseas.com if you're interested or trying to help out on this initiative.
You know, I'll tell you, Barry asked me to sink his phone once, and I threw it into the ocean. Whoa.
Is it still sinking?
Yes, still sinking. Still
got that
sinking.
Little spinny icon.
Yeah, forever and
just
ever.
And ever. All right. So, and now, what is this? Technology and archaeology? What's going on with that?
Yeah. So, when you think of archaeology, you probably think of either Indiana Jones or you think of some person in the middle of the desert with a brush and a little shovel shoveling away trying to find little artifacts, right? Well, recently, they've started to use more technological means to find things that are hidden. So, specifically in largely forested areas, they're using LiDAR to see through the canopy of trees and find hidden locations where they then can go search out and dig and find things that would have never been found because they were hidden in a canopy. So, for example, in Central America, they were able to use this LiDAR to find hidden civilizations that they would have never found before because the forest down there are so thick and so hard to get through that the only way that they were ever going to be able to find these buildings was with this LiDAR.
Next week, I want you to tell us what's going on. This is when I saw this on your list. Next week, Matt, and I think everybody would really enjoy this, is that if you ever look at the Daily Mail and you look at the science section, and I know, yes, I go to the Daily Mail. I'm sorry. It's almost like going as bad to the Sun, right, Allie? I mean, some of the headlines are... God. So, but if you go to the science section for the Daily Mail, I don't know what's going on with their editorial board, but it's like every other day they are like saying, here's a man who is 500,000 years old and this is what he looked like. Or, this is a new castle in Scotland that was unearthed when somebody was trying to dig a garden. I mean, it's really amazing stuff on what they're able to recreate. And so if you haven't taken a look at that, it really is pretty spectacular about how technology is recreating. And then, I don't know, it's like I don't know if I'm like you and you guys look at this, but it's like you see this person and they kind of look like us. And I think to myself, I mean, like they were walking the earth in 1325. Wow. Yeah. Incredible stuff.
Gives you perspective.
Oh, wow. They were sacrificed in some ritual. Yeah.
Yes, an archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. Do you know why? Because the older she gets, the more interested he is in her. Hey, Allie, what's trending over at Komando.com?
All right, our biggest story of the week so far. True or false, charging an electric vehicle is cheaper than paying for gas. I am not going to give away the answer. You have to go to Komando.com and read to find out.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. Sorry.
Clickbait.
Well, it's a good one. If you get this wrong number text, delete it right away. This is another one I think everybody needs to read. If you, this is a new tech scam. It is fooling people out of a lot of money and you don't want to fall for it. We'll tell you if you use a Roku, you might be losing a lot of channels soon. We'll tell you what those channels are, and maybe you might want to think about trying something else for your streaming. And then we've got apps that you need to delete off your phone to keep it fast and secure and working great, and just get the junk out of there because you don't need it anymore.
And just a quick reminder that if you're ghosting us on social media, what exactly are you doing? Why are you doing that? You want to make sure that you follow us over at Instagram.com/KimKomando. And that would be Facebook.com/ guess what it is? Kim Komando. And Instagram.com/ come on, Matt, can you figure it out? Come on. Yeah. That's right. Kim Komando. So don't ghost us. Hey, stay right where you are because coming up, Ben's going to be giving out some Ben heads on a charging stand. Gosh, we got to get this guy out of the battery world someday.
It plugs in.
Hey, welcome back to Tech Refresh. It's your weekly fun podcast about all things digital. And this is part of the podcast where we like to go to Ben, our trusty news director and tech guy of the week, where he likes to review some really cool products. Now, this week you have what? A MagSafe charging stand? Oh my gosh, this is really going to bring them in, Ben.
I love this thing. I mean, okay, I know you have the new iPhone too. Do you use any of the MagSafe accessories, wallets, or?
Yes, I do. I have a little MagSafe charging thing, and then I also have a MagSafe battery pack that goes on the back. But I'll tell you, the Anchor battery pack, MagSafe, it doesn't always work. I got news for you.
Okay.
But the charging does.
Well, when the iPhone 12 was announced a year ago, one of the first things they announced was this like Belkin officially licensed MagSafe stand. It's got this cool little floating dock, metal, and then you can put your AirPods just lay it on like AirPods Pro or the wireless ones at the bottom just to wirelessly charge. And you thought this was going to be like this whole introduction of all this like official MagSafe stuff, like really cool. And you've had the wallets and all this stuff, but as far as stands like this, not much. And so months ago, I got to test out this Belkin Boost Charge Pro MagSafe 2-in-1 wireless charging stand. Yes, that's the official name. Yeah.
You know what? You know what it sounds like? Do you remember that Christmas movie? It was like, I wanted the ruby red BB gun or whatever
Red
that
Ryder.
thing was. It was like
The Ryder.
that was, yes.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
So what's the name of this again, Ben? Say it one more time.
The Belkin Boost Charge Pro MagSafe 2-in-1 wireless charging stand.
Ooh,
Kim, do you think we
okay.
should call them with some marketing advice?
Yes, exactly.
Well, this
Nobody's ever going to remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now.
I don't think so. It's actually a very nice stand. So they sent me this one to test. Like I said, you just connect your iPhone, you put your AirPods on, comes in white or black, really nice. I had to send that back when I was done, but I ended up buying the one that actually has the extra arm for your Apple Watch. And
Oh, you liked it so much you bought it.
this was, and seriously, a
Wow.
year later, and because you haven't had just all this other really cool MagSafe, it is still the favorite, my favorite thing I've had for my iPhone 12 and now my 13, because it charges at full speed. It's on my nightstand. It's just,
Whoa. You know what? This is really, I don't know what to say, Ben, because I'm looking at my plans for the weekend and I'm thinking about you with your 200 labels and the MagSafe charger. I mean, I'm really feeling like I'm missing out.
I know.
Really, totally.
It can't get much more exciting.
I
than that.
know.
No.
I get it. It's,
Although I will say, the idea of just being able to charge all of your daily stuff in one little place, that's really handy, right? So you don't have to find all your cords and, my
Yes.
phone's in the kitchen, my watch is in the bedroom, my headphones are this place. That
that's
is
my
pretty cool.
philosophy. Everything has a place, and this is great. And even though the one that doesn't have the watch charging arm is $100, and the one that does
Ooh.
is $150. Like I said, it's an iPhone that you paid hundreds or north of $1,000 for, and this is like the premium charger to get. So even with that price, this might be the only thing that I've given 5 to. 5 out of 5.
Oh, 5 Ben heads. That is amazing. And we have links to it over at Komando.com because, of course, nobody would ever remember the name of it. But this is really spectacular. This is the first time in the history of mankind that we've gotten 5 Ben heads out
True
of 5.
fact.
That is amazing. And so, again, if you want to check it out, head over to Komando.com. And, I just want to share this story before we leave with everyone. A helicopter was flying above Seattle when an electrical malfunction disabled all of the aircraft's electronic navigation, all of the communications equipment. There was like clouds and haze, and the pilot couldn't determine exactly where she was or how she could fly to the airport. But she saw this really tall building. She flew toward it. She circled, and she drew a note, and she held it in the helicopter's window. And the sign said, "Where am I?" in really large letters. Well, everybody in the tall building started to respond to the aircraft. They drew a large sign. They held it to the window at the building, and their sign read, "You are in a helicopter." Well, the helicopter's pilot smiled, she waved, she looked at her map. Then she determined her course back to the SeaTac airport, and she landed safely. After they were on the ground, the co-pilot asked the pilot, how the "you're in a helicopter" sign helped her determine their exact position. The pilot responded, "I knew that it had to be a Microsoft building because, like their tech support, online help, and their product documentation, the response they gave me was technically correct, but it was completely useless." So, Allie, Ben, and Matt, thanks for joining us here for Tech Refresh, and thanks for listening. Just a quick reminder that you want to rate, review, subscribe, and follow the podcast. And yeah, I'd be remiss without telling you to sign up for the current newsletter. That's right. Head over to thecurrentnewsletter.com. You're going to love it. Just trust me. And I'm Kim Komando, and thanks for listening. And be sure to share us with all your family members and friends.